2007, the kids are satiated and sleeping soundly upstairs. The smell of barbecue, oh, it smells so delicious, mixed with the daylilies from the night before. But I'm noticing I'm feeling exhausted. There's a pain in my back and in my gut. And I'm just wishing that I could spend more time connected to my family and friends in my home. Something about this life is just not resonating with me. And yet I look like the epitome of success. I've got the house and the boat and the cars. Kids are getting ready to launch. But I feel bankrupt inside. I've been working 7 days a week. And in 2 weeks, the hedge fund deal is going to close. And then I'll be able to help the kids launch. And I'll help my parents move into old age. My husband and I will get to work on that marriage. And maybe I'll get to live in my values. And maybe I'll land. I hear a knock at the door. And then another knock. I forget that I'm in a very scanty pink nightie, and I open the door. With brute force, 21 FBI agents storm into the foyer. Up on the balcony, hanging over from the 60-foot ceilings, I see the kids. Their eyes are wide with fear, as if they're on springs. As a man and a woman put steely handcuffs on me and drag me up the stairs while they make the kids come down at gunpoint and go to the kitchen. They chain me to my toilet. And I'm so cold that the urine coming out feels like fire. I hear my daughter screaming and the dog barking, and the sounds are so piercing that I can barely hear them say, "Ivy Wolf Turk, you are under arrest for conspiracy to commit fraud." I'm silent. But the voice in my head is screaming, "You don't know me! You don't know me!" And then I remember my mother said, women are to be seen and not heard. Except this time, I had to find an answer. I had to be able to explain. They take me downstairs and they stuff me in the back of an unmarked car. And this feeling that I had was eerily not unfamiliar. I'm 5 years old. My mom is dragging me into the bathroom, and she's shaking me, and she's saying, "Ivy," with big fear-filled eyes, "what should I do? Tell me what to do." This is when I committed my first fraud. This is when I became my mom's co-conspirator, because I was so afraid I wouldn't be loved and I wouldn't survive. So I told my mom what to do, even though I didn't have a clue what was right or what was wrong. I'm 23 now. I've just finished college, and I marry my childhood friend. After all, At 23, I didn't want to be an old maid. I wanted kids and a house and a family. Tavern on the Green, 200 people. My husband looked like George Clooney with a little bit of a Jewish nose. And this is when I committed fraud number 2. When he was the highest one at the party, I talked myself, I convinced myself into believing dental school will knock it out of him. And after all, women must stand by their man. They are to be seen and not heard. And so I accepted the perfect lie and the perfect husband. I'm 33. I remarry, and I inherit 2 bonus children. I'm now the mother of 4, ages 2 to 14. Got the big house, the husband, big job, 4-hour commute, and I am the epitome of success. But inside, there are wants and desires, and all I can think is, nobody really knows me. You don't know me. None of this matters to me. These aren't my values. But if I don't do more, I won't be loved, and I won't survive, and neither will the kids. I'm 53 now. I've been in business for 20 years with the most abusive business partner you can imagine. My marriage is in the toilet. My dad is dead. I've barely survived cancer. The kids are living in their own orbits. And I'm in the back of a squad car, sentenced, and after that, sentenced to 5 years in federal prison. Ironic, isn't it, that I manifested the very prison that I had lived my whole life in. In prison, I lived among 200 women. Denigrated, isolated, humiliated. I was reduced to a number, 602-16054. And with nowhere to look, and no way to define myself or any success, the only place to look was inside me. And what I found were all those wants and desires and the knowing that I shared this common denominator with each and every one of those 200 women. We weren't criminals. We'd been afraid to say no, to fearing not being loved and having to do more in order to survive. In 2013, after the very investors that had gone to the government sued one another, I was released early from prison to a halfway house in the Bronx that was absolutely worse than any moment I had spent inside. Nobody would hire me. I might as well have had felon written on my forehead. Nobody would help me find housing, and I was way more lucky than most. I had friends who had stuck by me and the love, the remarkable love of those 4 children. And most importantly, I had me. I had me. And so, knowing that the only way out was through, and that I now was no longer a fraud, I went back to school and became a certified professional life coach. And I founded an organization in 2016 called Project Liberation. Project Liberation is an organization that helps women through all stages of justice involvement, or women who feel imprisoned in their lives in one way or another, learn to live, being who they are, doing what they love, and having what they need. Through 15 weeks, they get to learn through life coaching and arts-based intervention and ancient and modern trauma-informed modalities how to pause and go inside and find their intrinsic motivation to be who they are authentically and do what they love and have what they need. And I'm happy and proud to tell you all that over 350 women have gone through this program in the last 3 years. I have had the luxury of partnering with them as they go through the process of rewriting their stories as we advocate to rewrite the system. 100% of them are in permanent housing. 86% of them are pursuing education or employment they never dared to dream. And so, just like Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz, girl, you had the power all along. I just didn't know it. And so do those 350 women, and so do each and every one of you. The truth is, what I've learned is the secret to having it all is that I already do. And my greatest adversities have become my greatest teachers, and I am liberated.